Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today, well, first off, hi, remember me? Yeah, I'm sort of back, on YouTube, which is fun. It's been a little while, hasn't it? I hope everyone's doing well. I guess a month and a half belated Happy New Year to everyone, and to any newcomers to the channel, hi and welcome. It's been a long time since I did any recording, as my phone goes off. I shall do that later. Yes, it's been a little while since I've been here. The past few months of my life have been weird, for many reasons that we're not going to go into here, or anywhere. But basically, many ups, many downs, and YouTube took a massive backseat. But I have plans that we're going to go into. Probably, I imagine I'll Raikou it up and do an update video at some point in the not too distant future. Long tale short, I have not had a lot of time, but important things have to be done, and the first of them is this, because ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the PPL is back, and it's back with a vengeance, and we are taking no prisoners. Parasect Germain are back in the PPL, and this time we're not staying in D2, we're going back up where we belong to D1, and I have got the team that's going to get us there, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the team builder. Let's get right into it. Team builder, team analysis video. I'm going to try and keep it fairly short, and for future reference for the videos, the battle stuff, the team builder is just going to be in the battle video. Again, I'm not guaranteed that I'm going to have enough time really to be sort of making 2 videos for each battle per week. So let's get it on. Here we go. Here's the team, the squad that we're going to be bringing. So, I had the 4th pick in the draft, and my sort of consistency in going for Mew every time as much as I can, I wanted that to carry over. It didn't. Mew got sniped and picked round 1. First pick was Mew. So I decided to go a little bit off-piste and take something that I've kind of spoken a bit badly about in the past, but I'm going to take it. And so the first pick for Parasect Germain this season of the PPL is going to be Megalopunny. Megalopunny, we all know how powerful this thing is. I've once called it overrated, and while saying that, overrated doesn't mean bad. Megalopunny is damn good. That scrappy ability meaning that it's hitting everything. Ghosts aren't getting in the way of this bad boy. And Megalopunny, it's something I've kind of always wanted to use a little bit. It gets drafted almost every season of pretty much every league, and it consistently does well. It had its vogue maybe a couple seasons back. Everything seems to have their time, in terms of, who's picking what and what's good. Like way ages ago, like Harry Armour was the one, and then we sort of got into, Banefica came into its own around sort of the 2nd and 3rd seasons of draft, and then you got new generations, fairies came into it, and Jirachi was the big one, and then Megalopunny really came into its own. Since then, Banefica's come back, and Victini had its time, but Megalopony's always been there, and I really wanted to use it. It's super powerful. With the right team built around it, like it can fit onto most teams, but with the right team built around it, it can be devastating. It loves hazard support, it loves a lot of slow initiative, and also quick initiative. Just any initiative really will do nicely for Megalop. And it can come in, it can power up with Power Up Punch, funnily enough. It can basically just set itself up and punch holes, or indeed just sweep late game. It's got that massive base 135 speed, big base 136 attack. This thing is hitting hard. It's not frail either. It will take a hit. It won't take many, but it'll take a hit. So Megalopunny, I'm excited to use. I want to take it to the heights that it's been taken to before. And I think I've drafted the team that can do that. So Megalopunny first up, and when it was coming back to me, I decided to go proper old school and go with a combination that has worked so well in the past, because another thing Megalopunny really enjoys is a good Pursuit Trapper. Ideally something that can take on those other things that Megalopunny doesn't like, powerful bird spam, which is always prevalent. So with that in mind, my second pick is going to be Tyranitar. Again, not something I've used in draft, and I'm going to break it to you, I'm not drafting Sand. Excadrill went round 1. I think RTK took that. So, you know, I'm not going with a conventional Sand team at all, but I've gone with T-Tar. Megalop T-Tar is such a good core, and Tyranitar can't be slept on in an offensive role or a defensive role at all. This thing is super bulky, 100, 110, 100 defenses across the board, that's fantastic. It's really stupidly physically powerful. You know, Lopunny's base 136, this guy's base 134 in terms of attack. It's no slouch on the special side either with 95, and it can set up that speed with Dragon Dance or Rock Polish. This thing's got a massive, massive move pool, and it can be absolutely devastating in the right hands, and I'm hoping these hands are the right hands. So T-Tar is coming in as my second pick. Now as it wheeled round to me, I kind of wanted to look into Garchomp, because, and again, I've never used Garchomp, certainly not in League. But Garchomp went, I think, towards the end of round 2 as it wheeled back. And I was chatting to Kyle, it must have been, in call, and he said, you know, there's something there. And I'd seen that this something was there, and he said, if you don't pick this thing, like, I'm going to come around your house and tie you to a chair until you pick this thing. And I was like, no, don't worry. I didn't think this thing would get to round 3. The fact it is there, still, I am absolutely taking it, and that is going to be Zygarde, 50%. Oh boy, if we're talking about things that have come into their own in Draft League, Zygarde 50% is the one for this generation. It has possibly the most spammable move in the game at the moment in the form of that 1,000 arrows. This guy is a major tour de force. It is such a massive threat to be reckoned with. You know, that 1,000 arrows, as you say, hitting even those flying types, knocking it down. It's only got the base 100 attack, but that's still very potent with such a spammable move and amazing setup. You know, in the form of Dragon Dance or Coil on the defensive set. This thing, crazy bulky as well. 108, 121, 95. Don't mess with those kind of stats. And Zygarde is the one this generation. The fact it slipped so low to round 3 is crazy talk. But it's here, and now it's on my team, and this guy is going to be probably one of my major threats, possibly even more than Megalop. Just because it has just slightly more bulk, which is more kind of my thing. You know how I work. This thing is going to be crazy, crazy good. I'm really looking forward to using it. And to add on to that, I also made this one of my Z-Move users. Rules on Z-Move users is the fact that we had our budget of 120 points, I think it is. We got an extra 25 that could be spent on Z-Moves. And if you wanted to make a Pokemon a Z-Move user, you had to take the price it cost them out of that 25 extra points you got, if you catch my drift. So you can have as many as you like if they're cheap. Zygarde was like 18 mil, so I spent 18 of my 25 on making Zygarde one of my Z-Move users. I'm very happy that I did. This thing can hit crazy hard, and I'm very excited to use it and see it hit very hard. So with Zygarde taken, I need to start focusing on the fact that fighting, everyone has a fighting type, and my team does not like those at all at the moment. Wanted a bit more speed, wanted some hazard removal, wanted a fairy resist as well. My team up until this point, the 3 I've picked are all weak to fairy. That is no bueno. I needed something that was going to sort of do all those things and be able to get initiative at the same time. Does that thing exist? Well, yes, it does. And I was told I should probably take this thing later, or maybe even not at all, but I wanted it. My 4th pick is going to be Crobat. I'm actually a big fan of Crobat. Crobat was a part of probably one of my favourite teams I've ever used in Draft, which was CCL Season 3. I loved Crobat on that team. It put in an absolute showing, and I'm thinking it's going to do the same thing here. Very, very quick, you know, base 130 speed, but with the ability to scarf it if I really need to. Why would you scarf a Crobat? You might need to, you never know. Probably won't be doing it too much, but Crobat is just one of those things that it gets picked sort of in the mid rounds, and people go, oh yeah, Crobat, fair enough. It's my 4 times resistance to fighting. It's a very good resistance to fairy. It can come in on those attacks and start firing off pretty powerful hits. Base 90 attack is not the most powerful in the world, but it will do the job. Crobat can be nice and bulky as well. Useful defogger, nice reliable recovery and roost, of course. Yeah, it's just a really nice solid pick. It's one of those ones, it's not going to be too devastating, but it's one of those ones that's usually going to do fairly well indeed. And if I really want to meme it up and run with a nasty plot set, you best believe I'll do it. So my team is starting to take shape at the moment, but I had a plan with this, because earlier on I mentioned that Megalop really enjoys hazards, and it really enjoys sort of slow pivoting into it. So I wanted something that could remove hazards without getting rid of my own, so obviously I need a spinner. Looking into it, I really quite wanted a steel type, but steel, on top of the fact that I've got 2 fighting weaknesses, bit dodgy. So if I get a steel type that's neutral to fighting, that would be grand. So I need a steel type, I need it neutral to fighting, I need hazards, I need spin, you all know what's coming. I got Fortress round 5. Fortress, again, one of those ones that usually tends to go. Spinners are in high demand, and Fortress is just one of those ones that gets picked up. It's not going to be the first spinner that goes, but it's usually gonna go. Nice to have something on my team that's just a general wall. Just something that you can always bring in a defensive role. Rely on that sturdy, get your spin off, get your hazards up. I really wanted hazards on this team, I really needed it, and that slow volt switch into the fact that I've got these massive threats like Megalop, like Tyranitar, like Zygarde, that's going to be absolutely grand. I'm going to really look forward to using it in that role. I've seen the combination of Megalop plus Fortress used very scarily in the Battle Union, TBU. Who had it there? I want to say it was Frito. I want to say Frito had those two. Plus a bunch of other sort of slow initiative gainers and hazard stack and spin. And he used it fairly effectively because, as I say, Lop loves those things. And I'm not averse to using an offensive Fortress if I really want to. I'll do it. Sue me. So yeah, Fortress coming in at my 5th round pick. And my team is starting to look fairly spooky. So, moving into the 6th round, I should say at this point, other than Mew, I hadn't been sniped, and you're going to see that happen. I don't get sniped this draft. Score! So, what I wanted to add to my team next was a good, solid Psychic type. As I say, I couldn't get Mew, so I wanted to get something that could be considered almost the next best thing. You know, Megalop again loves a bulky Psychic. Normal Psychic Fairy is a really nice core. Goes well with the Dark typing as well. I wanted something nice and versatile. I wanted another hazard setter. You know, I've got Rocks again, plus all the spikes, but I wanted yet another one. Again, I need initiative. Again, I need versatility. And so for my 6th pick, I decided what I really wanted was Mesprit. Yes, I took Mesprit. Now, I know what you're thinking. This draft is turning oh so very shardy. I'm aware of that. But the man knows how to draft. And he likes these good mons, and I like the way this team is coming together. Mesprit in at round 6, this thing. Sort of the poor man's Mew, I think it'd be fair to say. But it does the job. Very, very nice bulk and offenses across the board. It can run any number of sets you want it to. I believe it even gets Healing Wish, which is always nice. It's my 2nd Healing Wish user. We'll see exactly how much of that goes on in this. But Mesprit here checks a number of very potent threats. A lot of fighting types can take on Psychics with their dark coverage, but Mesprit can take those hits fairly usefully and work from there. This thing is an excellent support mon, but it's an excellent offensive threat in its own right, and I'm sure I'll be using both of those options as the season sort of wears on. So, to summarise, at the moment, halfway through the draft, we have Megalop, Tyranitar, Zygarde 50%, Crobat, Fortress, and Mesprit. Things are looking grand at the moment, but there are a few things I'm missing, and they're very notable. This team, so far, is very, very physical. Hugely physical. And it doesn't have a water type. Fairies, they sort of tended to go around sort of round 3. So there was a few things I was missing, and what I really wanted was a nuke. A special nuke that could take a hit or two. And a mon came to mind, and I was really excited the fact that it fell to me. I've been wanting to use this thing in draft for a long time. It fits my playstyle very well, and that is going to be my 7th round pick, Marina. Base 126 attack if the first thing you see, and it's not to be messed with. This thing also has very, very creditable special defense at 116. This is my kind of thing. It's just a nuke, but it can run any number of defensive support sets, not only offensive with Specs or Scarf or AV. This thing gets dual screens, this thing gets very, very nice bulk. I say 80, 74 on HP and defense is not stellar, but it will do the job. And it's that very nice Water Fairy typing that my team was missing. As I said, that core of normal Psychic Fairy, where I've got Megalop, Mesprit, and now Primarina, that's really, really good, and I'm a huge fan of it. Plus, Fairy Dragon Steel is one of the cores that everyone goes on about, and we've got Zygarde 50, Fortress, and Primarina. That, for me, is really nice. Primarina's moveset is not shallow. That move pool dips down quite a lot. You've got all sorts of crazy options going on there. The likes of just Fairy Water Stab, Energy Ball in there as well, Ice Coverage too, Psychic and Ghost is in there. It can run a number of very nice useful offensive sets, and it's going to make people afraid. Primarina punches holes, and it's kind of a core breaker, well, a wall breaker really. There's a lot of sort of popular picks to go for, a lot of them on the physical side, the likes of Victini and Mamoswine are really nice, just wall breakers and core breakers, but Primarina can do the job as well on the special side very nicely. There are a number of moves on there that you don't mess with. So Primarina is my 7th pick, but at this point, like, my team is very expensive and I really need to go budget for however many of the last 4 I could choose to pick up. And I'm going to tell you now, ladies and gents, I fill out my roster, I do get the maximum of 11. So following Primarina, a number of things I still wanted. I still wanted a decent amount of speed, and my team is still quite light on special attackers. So I wanted something that can do that, but I like the versatility of being able to run mixed as well. So my next pick, and quite a few of them, not necessarily things you see picked up too often. For my 8th pick I wanted to go with a grass type, and the one I decided to run with is Sceptile. Yes, Sceptile. Not something you see every day, but it's got a very nice speed tier in at 120, base 105 special attack is nothing to mess with, and it can boost itself up on the physical side with the Swords Dance base 85 set too. It's got that very nice Unburden, and the thing is, with a lot of people running the Tapus, I think all 3 legal Tapus were drafted. Obviously Tapu Lele is banned, but all the other 3 were drafted, and people are running those Terrain Seeds. And with an Unburden set, like the one on Sceptile that we've got, that can come in really handy. You get your Unburden off, you get a boost into something, whatever stat you can, and you're good to go. You don't even have to sort of waste a move or take a hit to get down to a Sash or a Lumberry or, you know, a Pinch Berry, anything like that. So Sceptile can really be quick, very straight up off the bat. And it's got, you know, its useful move pool, its physical move pool is actually pretty much better with the likes of, you know, Leaf Blade, Earthquake, Drain Punches on there too, Power Up Punch. It gets Outrage, that's unstabbed Dragon coverage because I'm not a Mega. But its special move pool is fine as well. I'm excited to use this. I think it could be a bit of a sleeper. It's not going to be one that comes to all my battles, but then again I said that about Scyther in Season 2 and look what happened there. So maybe Sceptile will be a sleeper pick. We'll have to wait and see. So, that is Sceptile. 8th round pick. Now, up to number 9, I needed an electric type. This is very much true. I also was looking at Ghost because Ghost offense, certainly the way the drafts were shaping up, Ghost offense was looking really nice. Bill Standish of the Adelaide Honchcrows, he took Gengar like round 3, and people were like, interesting pick. And then everyone's drafts started coming together, and everyone looked back again and went, scary pick. But I didn't have a lot of money to spend. And looking at that electric typing I also wanted, I was noting that I'm building up a little bit of a problem with ground. But there is something that covers those things, and it's a Pokemon that I quite enjoy. It's not the most, you know, brutally powerful, but it's got a lot of tricksy options, and that suits me just fine. My 9th round pick is going to be Rotom, the regular form. Yes, really happy with this one. I quite enjoy it, and, you know, it's never going to have the potency of like a Rotom Wash. It's never going to have the bulk of that kind of thing either, but it's got a bit more speed, and I'm gonna use Rotom in fun ways. You know, it's not just gonna be your common or garden Volt Switch out all the time kind of deal. You know, I will run this thing in an offensive role when I can, but this thing gets so many defensive options, it's really cool. It's another screens user, it's got the Will-O-Wisp. I was really lacking in Will-O-Wisp, and that is a really nice move to have. Thunder Wave, another thing I didn't have too much of. So it's statusy, it's tricksy, it's supportive, but it's also can be powerful if you need to. Base 95 special attack isn't terrible. I'm really happy to use Rotom, and I've seen it used in pretty decent ways in the past, and it's just got a really nice niche here. Very certain things get kind of hard stopped by it. The likes, I actually mentioned this before when I was talking about Fortress. Just to pick an example, Excadrill does not deal well with Rotom, not at all. And there are a number of things that just don't deal well with this tricksy little guy here. So Rotom as my round 9 pick, very happy with that as well. So, moving into round 10, at this point I haven't really been counting how much I've been spending up until now. I remember very vividly that I had 10 points, or 10 million, however you want to say it, left to spend, plus enough in the bank to make one of those a Z-move user. So, what are we going to go with from here? Well, I wanted Fire Offense, but there's not a lot of particularly viable Fire Offense in those lower tiers, so I was going to have to think a little bit outside the box, and I certainly did. You think Sceptile was a weird choice to go with that isn't seen very often? Round 10, I chose Typhlosion. Yes, Typhlosion. And there are a number of reasons why I opted specifically for Typhlosion over some of the other ones. I could have gone a little bit higher, up towards sort of 7-8 million ranks, something like that, and then made my last pick a meme. But no, I decided to go with Typhlosion, and I'm very happy that I did. It's got this really nice thing that I quite like. You look back at my earlier picks, and remember when I was picking Marina, I said my team was very physical. So what the likes of Megalop and Crobat and Zygarde, Tyranitar, all of these things, the kind of thing they attract very much is burn. Will-O-Wisp is king. So now I've got a Flash Fire user, and that's just going to put people off a little bit. It's just going to put them off a little bit. It's going to make them think twice. And if they do go for it and I can get Typhlosion in, that Flash Fire boosted Overheat or Eruption or Fire Blast is going to hurt. It's going to hurt. Base 109 special attack. It's that nice base 100 speed that everyone loves as well. So yes, happy with Typhlosion. Its move pool is not stellar, but it does the job. And Typhlosion is going to be my second and final Z-move user. So I can play a few mind games with the likes of Solar Beam, even a physical set running the likes of Earthquake, God forbid. I think it gets Rock Slide, Wild Charges in there too. A lot of options with Typhlosion, a lot more than you might think. And Slyroh actually used it. He drafted Typhlosion in Season 2, and it was tricksy. You know, it stops very specific things. The likes of Victini got stopped by it, which, you know, you can't say that about too many things. This stops Victini. But it does. And it does it fairly well. So I'm excited to use Typhlosion. Again, much like Sceptile, probably not something I'll be bringing every week, but it has its niche, and I intend to use it as such. So, we come to the final rounds. I had 5 mil left to spend at this point, and I was looking at my team, and genuinely, I'm not sort of trying to blow my own trumpet here, but I was looking at my team and thinking, I don't think I really need anything else. Like, I'm happy with this team as it is. And I could have ended my draft there, and had 5 million left, and when transfers came, I could really bump something up a grade, if I wanted to. But that's not how we roll. We like to meme it up a little bit. So, when you've got 5 million left to spend, your team's pretty much filled out, you don't really think that you need anything else, but you like to get a bit tricksy. What do? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you pick Ditto. Yes, I chose Ditto as my last Pokemon. It's a risk. It's a huge risk. It's very high risk. But Ditto, again, has its niche, and its main thing really is to try and stop setup. You know, you're facing down like a +2 Salamence. You bring in Scarf Ditto and you kill it. or at the very least you force it out. That's what Ditto does. And of course, it helps to scout. You know, Alex, Onesie Bayonet, he drafted this thing, I think it was last season? Or the season before? Something like that. Maybe it was in Battle Union, I can't remember. But he's drafted it before, and he used it so well as a scout. And it just gave him so much insight into his opponent's teams. So Ditto has those kind of niches, and, you know, again, if played correctly, this thing can actually prove to be a really potent threat. You know, if people are gonna set up when you've got a Ditto, you can be just like, fine, go for it, and see where it gets you, because you can start using people's teams to your own advantage if you've got a Ditto sitting in the back waiting to pick up those stat boosts from the transformation and start wreaking havoc. So yes, that is pretty much the team we are rocking out with. Megalopunny, Tyranitar, Zygarde 50%, Crobat, Fortress, Mesprit, Primarina, Sceptile, Rotom, the regular form, Typhlosion, and Ditto. I'm very happy with this team. Happier than I have been with a team for a while, to be honest. I'm hoping it can put in a good amount of work. We've got a lot of very tough opponents to face in the upcoming season. And no more so, almost, than our very first opponent. Our very first opponent is a tough cookie, and if Shardy is my main rival, but who I can't fight this season, this fella is probably our closest and most similar rival, I think it's fair to say. In our first battle of this season, we're going to be taking on Onesie Bayonet, Alex, and AS Monferno. You are not going to want to miss this, seriously. I've battled Alex every single season of the PPL, and it's always an absolute doozy. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be great, I promise you. Our battles, they're always good. They're always good. Like, we had the very first battle of the PPL, and it was a season taker. It was so good. It's always back and forth. You know, we've had very similar journeys through the PPL. We're very similar people. He's a very good friend of mine, and it's going to be great, I promise you. So keep an eye out for that. That's going to be going up very soon indeed. Probably, if I can get this up tonight, that's going to be going out tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled. It's going to be great, I promise you. It's going to be fantastic. But yes, that is going to do it for this team analysis, squad analysis video. Let me know what you think of the team. I really like it. But, you know, your opinions are your own. Let me know what you like, let me know what you dislike, let me know what you'd have drafted in place of certain things. Always good to hear what you guys say, because you never know. You can't give me ideas, and when it comes to transfers, these things might take shape, you never know. But yeah, that's going to wrap things up from me. Update video to come out soon, hopefully, following probably the battle. But yes, that's going to be it from this video. So thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Welcome back to the channel. Big things for this year. Keep an eye out. That's going to wrap it up. So my final thank you to you all for watching. I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.